Hello everybody, and welcome back to yet another OceanWP video. My name is Matthew Turner, and in today's video, I'll be showing you guys how to create an Ocean Custom Sidebar. So, what is Ocean Custom Sidebar? Well, most WordPress themes have the option for one or two sidebars, and in most cases you cannot influence whether a page will have a sidebar or not. However, OceanWP is different. You have the option to create a left sidebar, right sidebar, and a dual sidebar. You can also customize the layout of the pages, archives, and blog posts differently across your entire website. Ocean Custom Sidebar is free to use and allows you to create unlimited combinations of sidebar widgets to use on any post or page. In this tutorial, I will be showing you guys how to install and activate the plugin, as well as how to create a sidebar to add to your post, page, and archives. Stay tuned. Alright, so let's begin. The first thing we have to do is we have to activate and install the Ocean Custom Sidebar plugin. Now, there are three ways that we can do this. The first one, which is the easiest way, is through the OceanWP theme panel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up. And over here, what we can do is we can head down to Useful Plugins. Just wait for that to load, and we can scroll down, okay, and then the recommended Ocean plugins is going to give us a list of plugins that we can install from the OceanWP theme panel. Now over here we can see that we have the option to install the Ocean Custom Sidebar. Okay, so what we can do is we can select install, and in the bottom right it's saying installing plugin. Okay, and now it says plugin is installed successfully. So now what we have to do is we have to head over to plugins, okay, and we can just scroll down and we have to activate the Ocean Custom Sidebar. So I'm going to select activate. Okay, just wait for that to load. Brilliant. And now you should see the option available for us to add sidebars. As you can see there, we now have a submenu called sidebars, which we can then select and add our sidebars. The second version, or the second way that we can add the Ocean Custom Sidebar, is through the WordPress repository. So what we can do is we can head over down to plugins, and we can select add new. And now what we can do is we can search for Ocean Custom Sidebar. And there we go. As you can see, all you'd have to do is then select install and activate. Now there is also a third way that you can do this, and this is by uploading it manually. You can download the Ocean Custom Sidebar plugin from the OceanWP website, download it to your computer, and then select upload plugin, and then just choose that plugin that you've just downloaded. That's that for this section. I will catch you in the next one. Stay tuned. Okay, so now that I've shown you guys how to activate and install the Ocean Custom Sidebar, what we're going to do now is we are going to create a custom sidebar for our WordPress website. So the first thing we have to do is we have to go to OceanWP, okay, then sidebars. All right. And now what we can do is we can give our new sidebar a name. Now it's important to take note that you can create as many sidebars for your WordPress website as you like and use them wherever you like. That is the beauty of it. Okay, so the first things first is I'm going to give it my sidebar a name. Now I'm going to call this custom sidebar. Now you guys can call it whatever you like. Use your imagination, it's entirely up to you. Okay, and then for the description, now this isn't mandatory. You do not have to put in a description about the sidebar that you're creating. However, it might help you to realize what exactly this custom sidebar is. So if you want to give it a short description, and then just as an example, I'm just going to say this is a custom sidebar. I'm typing with one hand. This is a custom sidebar. Okay, so that's it. Again, you do not have to give it a description. It is entirely up to you, but I would recommend it so that you know what this custom sidebar is, what it's about, and which page you're going to use it on. It's entirely up to you. Okay, so then what you have to do is you have to select add new sidebar, and that's it. That's how you create a custom sidebar for your WordPress website. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to create widgets or add widgets to our custom sidebar that we can then display on any part of our WordPress website. Stay tuned. Alright, so now that I've shown you guys how to create a custom sidebar, we've given it a name as well as a description. what we're going to do now is we're going to fill this with some widgets that we can then later on display within our WordPress pages or posts. Okay, so in order for us to do this, what we need to do is we need to head down over to Appearance and Widgets. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom to our newly created sidebar. So in my case, it's going to be called Custom Sidebar. In your case, it'll be whatever it is that you named it. So in order for us to add widgets, what we can do is we can select the plus icon over here, okay, and we can open this up to browse all. Now, I'm just going to be putting in a few random ones as an example. In your case, you can do anything that you like, okay, so as long as it's relevant to your website, it's entirely your choice. So the first one that I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a search widget, okay, so search, brilliant, and I'm going to change the default placeholder, just like that. Okay, and now what I want to do is I want to add in something else like a YouTube video. Okay, and I already have a URL copied, so I'm just going to embed that just like that. Okay, and also want to add in some posts, but I think I'm going to add the posts above the YouTube video. So I'm going to select a plus icon and then recent posts. Now, if you guys have a look at this real quickly, all of the widgets with the arrows beforehand are the OceanWP widgets. Okay, I like these a lot. They seem to work a lot better than the rest. So just play around with which ones are best for your website. Okay, in this case, I'm going to select the OceanWP recent posts. Okay, and I'm going to press the arrow button and move it below the search icon and above the video. Now you can change the number of posts that you'd like to display. Okay, in my case, I'm just going to select 3 of them to display. Post type, post, you can choose something else like pages or whatever it is that you want. Okay, and I'm going to leave everything as default. I don't want to play around with the categories, tags, or formats, etc. Okay, and then I'm also going to leave everything as default. So it's going to order them by descending order. Okay, now we will see what it looks like later on in the next section. But now what I want to do is I want to add in some social icons. So if I just go to social icons, and I'm going to choose the one that is being created by OceanWP. Okay, we have the title, the transition, I'm going to add it to float. Okay, so you can change the transition effect. Again, you have some other settings that you can play around with. Now, in order, what I want to do is I want to add in just a few. So the first 4 example, and I'm just going to add in an empty hashtag just so that it has a basic link, which means that these 4 ones will display. The rest will not display if they have nothing in it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select update. Brilliant. So within my widgets, I have a search bar, I have recent posts, I have the YouTube video, as well as some social icons. Now again, guys, you can add anything you like. You can even add a form, you can add contact info, buttons, entirely up to you. So just make sure that you play around to see which widgets are best suited towards your WordPress site. In the next section, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to add this to a page. Okay, so stay tuned for the next section. Okay, so now that I've shown you guys how to add in a custom sidebar as well as add widgets to your sidebar, what we're going to do now is we're going to insert this sidebar into one of our pages. However, before we do that, we do need to recognize what layout our global settings are set to. So what we can do is we can open up Customizer in a new tab. Okay. Just going to wait for this to load. And now that that's finished loading, what we can do is we can head over to General Options and General Stylings. Now, as you can see, by default, my layout for all pages is set to full width. Okay, so let me show you guys what we would do in order to add in a sidebar to a full width layout. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head back over to my dashboard and I'm going to select Pages and Add New. I'm going to open that up in a new tab. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this test page just for demonstration purposes. Okay, now because the layout is set to full width by default, okay, so if we leave this layout to default, okay, and we select the sidebar as custom sidebar, and if I schedule this, okay, and I select view page, you can see that our sidebar is not displaying. So what we can do, okay, is go back to the edit page section, And now what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to override the layout within the OceanWP meta box settings. So content layout, I'm going to override it to right sidebar. Again, you can do left sidebar or right sidebar, or both sidebars if you have two different custom sidebars created. Okay, so I'm going to select right sidebar, and I'm going to select the sidebar that I've chosen, which is custom sidebar. Now if I select update, okay, and view page, you can now see that the custom sidebar has been added to this particular page. Okay, so that's great, that's working just fine. Now, say for instance, we go over back to our customizer, and our layout for all of our pages is set to the right sidebar. Okay, and I select publish. Just wait for that to load. And I go back over to edit page. Actually, you know what? What I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a new page for a demonstration. Okay, so I'm going to go to add new page, and we'll just call this test 2. Okay, so now because our layout is currently set to the right sidebar, as you can see over there, we can now leave this content layout as default. And now what we can do is we can select the sidebar that we wish to display. So I'm going to select custom sidebar. I'm going to select schedule. Okay, and I'm going to select view page. So just like that, it's now making use of the custom or the global layout that we're making use of, and it's pulling in the name, which is custom sidebar to the right. Okay, but also what we can do is if we wanted to override this layout, which is the right sidebar layout, we can go over to edit page. Okay, and we wanted to make it to the left. What we can do is we can override the layout and we can select left sidebar. And I'm going to select update. Now I'm going to select view page. And there we go. As you can see, we've overridden the global customizer settings for the layout, and we've now chosen to display this sidebar on the left for this particular page. So that's that for this section. In the next section, I'll be showing you guys how to add in your sidebar to a particular post. Stay tuned. Alright, so now that I've shown you guys how to add in the custom sidebar to a particular page, as well as access the global customizer layouts, what we're going to do now is we're going to learn how to add this into our posts. So what we can do is we can head over to customize, and we can select open in a new tab. Okay, just wait for this to load. Brilliant. And what we can now do is we can head over to our blog section over here. Okay, and first off, we're going to be targeting our single blog posts. So let's head over to single post. Okay, and as you can see, we're currently making use of the full width layout. Now, this is the exact same process as the pages. I will go through it exactly the same just in case somebody else missed the previous section. Okay, so what we can now do is we can head back over to our pages section. Okay, let's go back to the dashboard, and we can head over to posts. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up all posts, and let's choose one to edit over here. So I'm going to scroll down. Now, as you can see, it's making use of the default layout, which is currently set to full width. Okay, so let's just preview this open in a new tab quickly. Just going to preview this just to show you what it looks like beforehand. So currently it is set to full width, as you can see. But now if we select the content layout to right sidebar, and we select our sidebar to custom sidebar, and I select update, and I select view post, as you can see, we've integrated our custom sidebar into our post. So what I'm going to do now, okay, is I'm going to head back over to the customizer, and I'm going to change the layout of single posts to right sidebar. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select publish. Brilliant. Let's go back to the post, and let's select edit post. Okay, and now what we can do is we can select this to default, and our custom sidebar is selected. Okay, so let's select update, and again, if we select view post, our custom right sidebar will be to the right. But now let's go ahead and go back over to customizer, and let's select the left sidebar. Okay, so let's select publish. So now by default it's going to be to the left. Okay, edit post. Again, it's currently set to default, so I'm going to update that. And let's view post. And it's now set to the left. But let's override this just to show you that you can override these settings. So let's go to edit post. Okay, and let's change it to right sidebar. Update and view post. So that is how you override the settings. That's how you insert your custom sidebar to a post page. Okay, it is exactly the same as the pages section. There is no difference at all. Now for the next section, what we're going to do is we're going to be adding in our posts to our blog archives. So if I just select news quickly, which is the blog section. Okay, now this is also the exact same as the edit page section. As you can see, all right, we're currently set to full width. So let's head back over to our dashboard and let's go over to pages and let's select news. So our news page, okay, which is blog posts. I'm going to select open up in a new tab. Brilliant, like that. And let's go and select edit. Brilliant. Okay, so what we can now do is we can select the content layout to default, which is currently set to full width, but we can now override that and we can select our custom sidebar. I'm going to select update. Now, bear in mind that this is taking the same settings as our global page settings in the customizer. Okay, so just bear that in mind. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select view page. And as you can see, we've added in our sidebar to our blog archives. You can also go ahead and override it again to put it onto the left or the right. It's entirely up to you. So let's go ahead and add that to the left sidebar and select update. Let's go to view page. And there we go. That is how you insert your sidebars into your blog posts, singular as well as the blog archives. Stay tuned for the next section. Alright, so now that I've shown you guys how to add in your custom sidebar to your post pages as well as your post archives, what we're going to do now is we're going to do something a little bit different. So we're going to be adding in a custom sidebar to our posts categories archives. So if I select posts categories, okay, and say for instance we wanted to add in a custom sidebar for our archive page over here for tips. Okay, currently we don't have the option to add in a custom sidebar making use of the OceanWP meta box settings or within the OceanWP customizer. Now in order for us to achieve this, we do need to make use of a bit of custom PHP code. Now because we're going to be adding in a few functions to get this to be able to display, we're going to have to activate and download the OceanWP child theme. Now it's important to make use of a child theme when you're making use of custom code or making any amendments to the theme files. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to head over to our OceanWP dashboard. Okay, so I'm going to open this up in a new tab. Now we do have a video linked in the description below on how to add a OceanWP child theme, but I'm going to go through the process again right now. So what we can do, okay, is we can scroll down and we can select OceanWP child theme. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select download. Okay, just wait for that to finish downloading. Now it is giving us the option to activate, but I'm not going to do that just yet, because what we are going to have to do is we're going to have to import our customizer settings, and I'm going to show you why that's important in just a second. So if we go over to appearance and themes, you open that up in a new tab, you can now see that the OceanWP child theme has been downloaded to our site. Okay, but let me just show you guys real quickly. If we open up our page, okay, you can see that the OceanWP, my customizer settings that I've made up for this website are currently active. However, if we go back over to our themes and we go to dashboard, okay, the OceanWP panel, what we now have to do is we have to go to the customizer section, okay, and what I'm going to do is we have to export the current customizer stylings from the current active OceanWP theme, which is the main one. Now I'm going to show you why that's important. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select export. Okay, I'm going to save this as a download. Brilliant. Okay, now what we can do is we have to activate our child theme. So I'm going to go over to appearance and themes. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate the child theme. Just give that a few seconds to load. Okay, and now that that has been activated, let's go back to our WordPress site and let's just reload this page. As you can see, our styling that we've set up for our WordPress site is no longer available. So that's why what we've done is we've exported the theme styles that we've set up in the customizer, and we're going to import that into the newly activated child theme. So let's head back over to our OceanWP dashboard. Let's just reload that. Okay, and we can go down to customizer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to import the customizer stylings that I've just downloaded. So I'm going to go my downloads, and it's going to be the latest one that I've just downloaded. Okay, and I'm going to select import. And just give it a few seconds to finish activating, importing. Okay, brilliant. So, success. Now, let's go back and reload our page. As you can see, everything is as what it was beforehand. So again, guys, it's very important that if you want to keep your current customizer settings for the OceanWP theme, before you activate the child theme, you need to export your customizer settings. Again, we will have a video linked in the description below that will show you guys how to do that. In the next section, I will be showing you guys how to add in the custom PHP functions that will allow us to showcase our sidebar within our post category archives. Stay tuned. Okay, so now that we have learned how to download and activate the OceanWP child theme, as well as export and import our customizer stylings, what we're going to do now is we're going to add a custom sidebar to one of our post archives for the categories. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open up categories real quickly, and I'm going to be targeting the dogs. Okay, so my category name is dogs. So this is the category that I'm going to be targeting in order to get a custom sidebar open on that page. Now, you guys can do this with any other different category, but just be sure to make sure that you insert the category name into the PHP function that I will be showing you guys how to do in just a few seconds. So, what we can do, okay, is we can head down over to Appearance and Theme File Editor. Now, it's important to take note, like I've said before, you have to do this within the OceanWP child theme. Okay, so here I have it, the OceanWP child theme. Okay, and now what I want to do is I want to head over to functions.php. So what we're going to do is we're going to add in a new function beneath the last one that is added over here, which is going to allow us to add in a custom sidebar to our archive pages. Right, so if you just bear with me 1 second. Okay, so I have a piece of custom code which is copied onto my computer, which I'm just going to paste into the function over here in the functions.php file. So I'm going to select paste. Okay, and as you can see, I've added in a new function called my custom sidebar display. Now what we have to do, okay, is we have to replace this category name with our category that we have set within our archives. So if I just open this up in a new page quickly and I select categories, open up. Now the category name that I'm going to be targeting is dogs. So we have to replace that, okay? So you can replace it with your category name that you want to display the sidebar in. In my case, it's going to be dogs. Now, what I've also done, or we need to do, is we need to create a custom sidebar for this particular archive. So we'll come back to this piece of code in just a second. So what I want to do is I want to open up sidebars in a new tab. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select add new. Now I'm going to call this, we can call this, I don't know, archive. Okay, archive dogs. So brilliant. So this is going to be an archive for the dogs category. Now you guys can name it anything you like. So I'm just going to select add new. Now what I'm going to do, okay, is we have to take note of the ID that it's given us. in this case, it's going to be OCS-archives-dogs. So I'm going to copy that. Okay, now let's head back over to the themes section over here. Now, the category name is dogs. All right, and the custom sidebar ID. So now we need to replace this with the ID that we've just copied. Okay, so in my case, it's OCS-archive-dogs. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select update file. Okay, but also we also need to add in a few widgets for our recently created sidebar. So let's head over down to appearance and widgets. Okay, I'm just going to add in one just as an example, and we can add in something like an audio file. So I'll do that, media library, and I'm just going to select that audio file. So I'm going to update that now. You guys can have as many widgets as you like within the custom sidebar. Okay, so now that that's added, let's check to see if that worked. So we can go down to edit themes. I've selected update file. Okay, now if I head over to my posts and categories, and I select dogs, and I select view this, okay, now we've run into a problem. So as you can see, our sidebar has not yet appeared. In some cases, this might have worked for a lot of you, depending on the customizer settings for the archives, okay? Now, what I'm going to do if this has not worked is we need to insert a new piece of code into that section. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy the next piece of code, but don't worry because this will be within the description below. So I'm going to copy that real quickly and let's go back to the dashboard. I'm going to go to appearance, themes, theme file editor, okay, and functions.php file. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down and I'm just going to copy that, paste that over there. So the category is going to be dogs, all right, and it's going to be targeting the right sidebar. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to select update. Brilliant. Now, if we go back over to categories and select view in a new tab, you can now see that the custom sidebar that we created with the PHP code has now been targeted for our archives page with the category of dogs. Now, again, you can do the exact same thing for all of your categories if you so wish. It's entirely up to you. You can also target the same for tags. And we also have a documentation that will be linked in the description below, which will give you enough information on how to do that and change the query that is being requested for the PHP code. Okay, so that is that for today's video. It's been an absolute pleasure to do this for you guys, and we cannot wait to see you in the next video. That's it from the OceanWP team. Stay tuned.